Hey everyone, what's happening? It's James Lambert, the international speaker. I went from knockouts to knowledge and from headlocks to hugs. I still embrace people, just now in a more positive way. So hello, I hope you're absolutely thriving in all areas of your life and you're really doing well. So it's been a while since I've done my last Facebook Live post. So I wanted to share a beautiful story I've come across today. And it's called Mending Conflict. Mending Conflict, so see what you think of it. Once upon a time, two brothers who lived on adjoining farms fell into conflict. It was the first serious rift in 40 years of farming side by side, sharing machinery and trading labour and goods as needed without a hitch. Then the long collaboration fell apart. It began with a small misunderstanding and grew into a major difference, and finally it exploded into an exchange of bitter words followed by weeks of silence. One morning there was a knock on John's door. He opened it to find a man with a carpenter's toolbox. "I'm looking for a few days' work," he said. "Perhaps you would have a few small jobs here and there. Could I help you?" "Yes," said the older brother, "I do have a job for you. Look across that creek at that farm. That's my neighbour. In fact, it's my younger brother. Last week there was a meadow between us, and he took his bulldozer to the river levee, and now there is a creek between us. Well, he may have done this to spite me, but I'll go him one better. See that pile of lumber curing by the barn? I want you to build me a fence, an 8-foot fence, so I won't need to see his place anymore. Cool him down anyhow." The carpenter said, "I think I understand the situation. Show me the nails and the post hole digger and I'll be able to do a job that pleases you." The older brother had to go to town for supplies, so he helped the carpenter get the materials ready, and then he was off for the day. The carpenter worked hard all that day, measuring, sawing, nailing. About sunset, when the farmer returned, the carpenter had just finished the job. The farmer's eyes opened wide. His jaw dropped. There was no fence there at all. It was a bridge stretching from one side of the creek to the other. A fine piece of work, handrails and all, and the neighbour, his younger brother, was coming across, his hand outstretched. "You are quite a fellow to build this bridge after all I've said and done." The two brothers stood at each end of the bridge, and then they met in the middle, taking each other's hand. They turned to see the carpenter hoist his toolbox on his shoulder. "No, wait! Stay a few days. I've a lot of other projects for you," said the older brother. "I'd love to stay on," the carpenter said, "but I have many more bridges to build." Beautiful, beautiful, all about mending conflict. The actual source of that story is unknown. But that really spoke to me because for the longest time in my life, I was always at conflict with my brothers and sisters, particularly my brothers. Always at conflict. And of course that dissonance started in me, but I externalized it through violence. Even in my hobbies, so-called boxing and martial arts, they're still violent. Now, there's no judgment as such. I'm just saying from my point of view, it was a way of distilling that anger and negativity, pushing it out there onto others in a somewhat controlled environment. And yet the point still stands. It was about conflict, and I created and was embroiled in a lot of conflict for most of my life. And yet, like the story said, when I began to build bridges, metaphorically, so I could begin at least attempting to live in peace with others. Lo and behold, my life got better. And I just invite you in your own life, where could you begin, if you haven't already, to build bridges with your neighbours, literally. Maybe you've fallen out with a family member, and again, the opportunity of perspective, will this matter in 5, 10, 30 years time? And now, I'm not necessarily saying forget what has happened. What has happened may indeed be too painful to just forget. No, that's not necessary. But to forgive, yeah, it takes the bigger man or woman to do so. And I'm just inviting you in your own life to look where you could build bridges. Now, it doesn't mean, particularly if you have been hurt, that it's all, you know, you have to go all hugs and all in the next time you see him. But can you begin being civil and polite? Could you pick up the phone? Could you send a text or an email just to break the ice, as it were? Now, that's up to you. But in my own life, I realised, yeah, I could. Stop holding on to grudges, let them go, and begin to be a peacemaker instead of a fire starter, you know, a troublemaker. Be the first, like in the story, to offer your hand in peace rather aggression. As I say, I don't know what you need to forgive in your own life, but I just invite you today just to think about where you could begin at least building some bridges to live in peace. And the thing is, it's a beautiful thing you do for yourself. Forgiveness, it's a huge topic, and I've spoken a little on it before, but I really think now is the time. I mean, what we're waiting for, today's as good a day as any, just to build those bridges with our brothers, that of course hopefully are everyone, you see everyone, I certainly do, as your brother and sister, and just start building bridges of peace, cooperation, and just well-being in general. And that way we all thrive, and it's a lot better, you know yourself, when you're with a friend or otherwise, when you're not at peace with someone, it's uncomfortable. And even when you're watching a movie or going about your business, it's in the back of your noggin. So, but yet when you're cool with everyone, even if you don't see eye to eye, but when you're just cool with everyone, it's a beautiful thing. You can just go on about your business. So I'll leave that there for now. I hope it's been of value. If it has, please do share. I'm building a tribe of like-minded, positive individuals around the world who are hustling, going about their dreams, and just living positively. And it's a lovely thing. So, as I say, from my heart to yours, I hope you're very well. Go out today and for the rest of this beautiful month, the rest of the year indeed, and start building beautiful bridges of peace. And remember, you are unstoppable, and I believe in you. Until next time, take care.